So I am driving over the Brooklyn Bridge, talking about Cardano price predictions and just overall price predictions in these markets, because price predictions are one of the most popular videos that people make. Everybody wants to know the price. Why do you want to know the price of Cardano? And what's it going to be? Because if you know the price, then you can be filthy rich. Well, the reality is nobody knows the price. And price predictions, as clickbaity as they are, they're a little bit foolish. But there's an entire industry based on price predictability. It's called being a financial advisor, which I am not. And financial advisors, they're a little bit like doctors, if you think about it. You know what? Doctors, they don't always do what they prescribe for their patients. Just like financial advisor, I think I read somewhere one time that around 50% of financial advisors don't invest in their own funds. Seems a little hypocritical, doesn't it, right? Because what we're talking about, whether it's health or it's finance, is a very emotional decision-making process. And what is right for some people is not what is right for other people. And we've talked about that before. Oh, come on, man. Don't stop in the middle of the road. I'm driving here. Okay, here we go. That's New York driving for you, people. 101. You gotta go. Get out of the way. So, we're rolling yellows. So back to what I was saying. Okay, this is a red, and we stop now. I have my seatbelt on. It's just, look, I'm too big for this car. I need a bigger car, and this thing chokes me. It pulls me down. So, what people prescribe for you isn't always what they would prescribe for themselves in the same situation. How we get into bubbles sometimes is when people start following other people whose situation is different than their own. And the level of risk that's right for me, no matter who's watching this, is not what is going to be right for you, because we are living different realities. Everybody's reality is unique to themselves, okay? And our perception of reality should not change our perception of somebody else's reality should not change our financial decisions for ourselves, okay? Just like you wouldn't prescribe certain medications for other people that weren't right for you and your own personal situation. You know, I was thinking about this market and where it's going and what are the potential risks and how much exposure I personally have out there. I'm not a big trader. I make very few trades, a couple here and there, but really I'm not a trader by the traditional sense of the word. But you think, hey, you know what? The market has been going up, 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 up. Inflation is coming, okay? I don't think we've even seen the tip of the iceberg. Would it make sense to diversify something into, say, precious metals, perhaps gold? Would it make sense to diversify some of my assets into property, real estate? Because real estate's not going to zero, okay? I'm not saying that Cardano, I'm not saying that Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Dogecoin, well, maybe Dogecoin, probably not Dogecoin. They're not going to zero, but they can, as fast as they go up that way, that's how fast they can go down that way. And look at these people. They just walk in. This is a green light, people. Like they just, New Yorkers don't care. You know what's the funny thing of the difference between New York and LA? New Yorkers cross the street whenever they want. Green lights, red lights, yellow lights, they just cross whenever. You go to LA, you watch how the people in LA walk, they follow the little signals that tell them when they can and cannot cross. You cross the street in LA without that little Walkman signal, you're like a total rebel. You know, the city of the rebels. But people in LA, they like don't jaywalk like they do in New York. New York is the jaywalking capital of the world. Look at this city, New York making a comeback. Kung Fu Tea. All right, shout out to Kung Fu Tea. So New York is making a comeback, and well, they've had some market downturns and upturns in the past, haven't they? So I think assessing financial risk is a very personal and individualistic thing. Everybody wants to come on here and find the solution to their problem. They want to find a lot of us, including myself, we want to find this person who's telling us the story that we want to hear. Hey, folks, real quick, if you have not voted for Nerd, it's real simple. 1, stake with Nerd. 2, all you do is you send a transaction from and to your own wallet for 2.381. So it's like sending yourself an email. You just send an internal transaction for 2.381, and you have voted for Nerd in the Sunday swap vote. Thank you for staking with Nerd, and thank you for voting with Nerd. I'm out. The problem is that the solution that we want to hear is not always the best solution for our life and what we're trying to accomplish. Now, I'll tell you the solution that I want to hear. Cardano goes to $10. Cardano goes to $32 with a $1 trillion market cap. Is that possible? Of course that's possible, okay? Considering everything that's going on with Africa, with the large-scale adoption within the cryptocurrency world of Cardano, yes, a $32 Cardano, in my opinion, is definitely possible. In the next 2 years, is it probable? I would say probably not, but what do I know? We have so many factors coming into play, like inflation, potential extreme market downturns that could play a role in it. I mean, right now, one of the top hedges against inflation is crypto, is Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin shoots past 100K, can Cardano go to $10 all day, okay? But that doesn't mean that's going to happen. That's the story that I like to tell myself. But the story that I should probably look at is really, how do you protect the nut of your asset? Okay, so that when that downturn comes, you're hedged properly so that you don't get wrecked. Potentially precious metals, potentially real estate, potentially a diversified portfolio that puts you in a safer position. Now, that's not the story I want to tell myself, and I'll tell you exactly why it's not. Because I like the fantasy of me driving a Rolls Royce, living in a $9 million mansion on the water with a Lambo. Shout out Lamboat if you remember the Lamboat gang. But what is reality and what is fantasy often clash. Most of us don't see the biggest bill we ever have to pay coming towards us. And most of us don't plan for how we're going to pay that bill. And sometimes, if not a lot of the times, people end up having to sell their assets to pay that bill. Now, that's a vague generalization, but it's still true. It's still true. If you're over leveraged and you're under diversified, a hefty bill can take you down. And I've seen it happen to people in my family more than once. And it's never a pretty thing. It's never a pretty thing. So, am I selling my ADA? No. Let it ride. I think I've said in a previous video, if we did a moonshot to maybe 7 to 10, maybe at 8 to 10, I'd probably take a nice piece off the table personally. I have faith in the long-term viability of ADA. I've created other income streams that allow me to hold on to that asset. Without those, I'd be forced to sell. Okay? Now, if you're not in that similar position, and like I said, we're all in different positions. We're all unique individuals that have unique financial situations, okay? Just like when you visit a doctor, just like when you visit a financial advisor, trying to not get the jaywalkers here. We're down here in Soho. Going to Soho, posh little lounge in Soho. We're gonna hang out all day. $14 a drink. Take a sip. You just took a $3 sip. So look, ladies going through the street. Look at these nuts. Yes, look at this. Just people all over. People. I'm driving here. Name that movie down below. So, this guy's parked. Man, this is like go-kartville. So look, I think for me, it makes the most sense to try to be aware of the things you don't want to be aware of. Okay? And plan accordingly for those things. And that is usually not the most fun fantasy outcome. But in the sense of preservation, wealth preservation, keeping your money and not turning your life upside down, wealth preservation is everything, okay? If a big hit comes to you, whether it's in the form of a major economic downturn or a personal economic downturn, it could be a health crisis, it could be, a global catastrophe. Will you be able to hold on to your assets? And if everybody's stuff gets cut in half, okay, will you be able to hold on to your assets? Or will you lose your assets? Okay, trying to drive here. Just gonna beep my way through the light. Okay, that's how you drive in New York. You just beep through things. We're down here in yeah, I'm driving here. All right, so we're down here in Greenwich Village. I used to work down here years ago on Bleecker Street in McDougal. Shout out Bleecker Street and McDougal. Used to know a lot of cats around here. So folks, what I would tell you is do what's right for you. The markets are in a really funny place right now, and I don't mean cryptocurrency markets. Cryptocurrency markets are seemingly doing very well. There's a lot of interest. I see a large-scale adoption coming to cryptocurrency, although with that being said, the global market, real estate, stocks, bonds, just everything, we're in a funny place. I mean, COVID really did a number on us. Inflation is going to hit us hard, I think, and having your bets hedged in the future in things that aren't so ultra risky like cryptocurrency at some point in time will probably serve you. It'll help you sleep a little bit better at night. But if you're like me and you have a little bit more freedom to wiggle and stay in the game, I'm not going to sell my Cardano. I'm keeping it in the game because I don't plan on selling anything for 5 to 10 years, okay? And I see a long-term viability for Cardano. Stake with Nerd, vote for Nerd. Folks, love you all. Thank you for being here. And if I don't see you, I'll see you in New York. I'm out. I don't know what it is about driving in New York. I just feel the need to accelerate and hit my brakes really hard. You got to be aggressive in this town, man. This town will chew you up and spit me out. It has a couple times. Oh, but I love it here. I don't know what it is. It's just a chaotic place. And New York teaches you to be a little bit of a survivor. You come here, humble beginnings. And you know what? Okay, come on, move it, buddy. And you learn how to fight. You learn how to live. You learn how to live. Okay, now I'm going to accelerate into a bus. See, that's not what you do here. Not what you do. Okay, look at it. I even gave you a blinker. What do you want, a cookie? Okay, coming up here. Another blinker back. And this is how you drive in New York. You can't be a little wait to get in guy on the interstate. Like that guy, like literally, like he'll never get into New York. Look at this guy. These bikers, man, you can't look at it. They're coming out of everywhere. They're growing, these bikers. Look, even the bus drivers here are terrible. Okay, all right, here we go. This is driving live in New York City. Come on, we're passing a bus. We're going through the yellow. Whoa, baby, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you drive here. Leaving the bus in the dust.